Good afternoon and welcome to all. So, we are continuing with the rest of the portion of the transport chain. So, we can discuss about electron donors. In the present day biosphere, the most common electron donors are organic molecules. So, the organic molecules are the most common electron donors in the biosphere. The organisms that use organic molecules as an electron source are called organotrophs. So, the organotrophs are nothing but the organisms which use organic molecules as an electron source. Organotrophs example are animals, fungi, protists, and then phototrophs, which are plants and algae. This may constitute the vast majority of all familiar life forms. Some prokaryotes can use inorganic matter as an energy source. Such an organism is called a lithotroph, which is also known as rock eater. Inorganic electron donors include hydrogen, carbon monoxide, ammonia, nitrate, sulfur, sulfide, manganese oxide and ferrous ion. So, this may constitute inorganic electron donors. So, the lithotrophs have been found growing in rock formations thousands of meters below the surface of the earth. Because of their volume of distribution, lithotrophs may actually outnumber what organotrophs and phototrophs in our biosphere. The use of inorganic electron donors as an electron source is of particular interest in the study of evolution. This type of metabolism must logically have preceded the use of organic molecules as an energy source. So, coming to the different types of electron acceptors. First one, complex 1 and complex 2. The bacteria can use a number of different electron donors. When the organic matter is the energy source, the donor may be either NADH or succinate, in which case electrons enters the electron transport chain. It may enter this electron transport chain through NADH dehydrogenase, and it is similar to the complex 1 in mitochondria, or succinate dehydrogenase, which is similar to the complex 2 in mitochondria. So, these two are the electron donors which are constitute complex 1 and complex 2. Complex 1 NADH dehydrogenase, complex 2 succinate dehydrogenase. Other dehydrogenases may be used to process different energy sources. For example, formate dehydrogenase, lactate dehydrogenase, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, then H2 hydrogen dehydrogenase, that is hydrogenase. So, these are the other types of dehydrogenase which have been used to process different energy sources. Some dehydrogenases also act as proton pumps. Other funnel electrons in the quinone pool. So, the most of the dehydrogenases show induced expression in the bacterial cell in response to the metabolic needs triggered by the environment in which the cells grow. For example, in the case of the E. coli, the lactate dehydrogenase is the enzyme which is used by the E. coli aerobically and also in combination with other dehydrogenases. So, most dehydrogenases show induced expression whenever there is a metabolic need. It is inducible and is expressed when there is high concentration of DL lactate present in the cell. So, this E. coli when it is using the enzyme lactate dehydrogenase, and this use of this enzyme is inducible, and this type of use of enzyme, it is expressed when there is a high concentration of DL lactate present in the cell. Next is quinon carriers. Quinolones are mobile lipid soluble carriers that shuttle what? Electrons and protons between large relatively immobile, not quinolones, quinons. Okay, some mistake. Quinolones are actually antibiotics. Quinons are the mobile lipid soluble carrier that shuttle the electrons or protons between large relatively immobile macromolecular complex. So the quinons are the lipid soluble carriers which carry these electrons embedded within the membrane. The bacteria uses ubiquinon, which is also known as coenzyme Q, the same quinon that mitochondria also use. Whereas in the eukaryotes also this coenzyme Q is used. So the bacteria uses ubiquinon and other related quinons such as menaquinone, which is vitamin K2. RK in the genus Sulfolobus use Cardariella quinon. The use of different quinons is due to slightly altered redox potentials. So the different quinons are due to slightly altered redox potential. These changes in the redox potential are caused by change in the structure of quinon. The change in the redox potentials of these quinons may be suited to changes in the electron acceptors or variations of redox potentials in the bacterial complex. Next is about proton pumps. A proton pump is any process that creates the proton gradient across the membrane. So the protons can be physically moved across those membranes, which are seen also in the mitochondrial complexes 1 and 4. So the same effect can be produced by moving electrons in the opposite direction. The result is the disappearance of proton from the cytoplasm and appearance of the proton in the periplasm. In the case of the mitochondria in eukaryotes, complex 3 uses this second type of proton pump, which is mediated by quinon. So these are also present in eukaryotes but different. So the proton pumps are coming under the complex 3. Next, some dehydrogenases are proton pumps and others are not. For example, most oxidases and reductases are proton pumps, but some are not. The cytochrome BC1, it is a proton pump found in many but not all bacteria. But it is not found in E. coli. As the name implies, bacteria BC1 is similar to mitochondria BC1. So it is similar to the complex 3 in mitochondria. That means in eukaryotes. Cytochrome electron carriers. Next is telling about cytochrome electron carriers. Among the cytochrome electron carriers, those are cytochrome oxidase, which are the pigments that contain iron. They are found in 2 very different environments. Some cytochromes are water-soluble carrier that shuttle electrons to and from large immobile macromolecular structures embedded in the membrane. The mobile cytochrome electron carrier in mitochondria is cytochrome C. The bacteria use a number of different mobile cytochrome electron carriers. Other cytochromes are found within the macromolecules such as complex 3 and complex 4. They also function as electron carriers but in a very different intramolecular solid state environment. Electrons may enter this electron transport chain at the level of mobile cytochrome or quinone carrier. For example, electrons from the inorganic electron donors, for example, nitride ferrous ion electron transport chain, those enter the electron transport chain at the cytochrome level. When the electrons enters at a redox level greater than NADH, the electron transport chain must operate in reverse to produce this necessary, which is a high energy molecule. So, coming to the last portion, that is terminal oxidases and reductase. When the bacteria which are growing in aerobic environment, the terminal acceptor is oxygen and it is reduced to water with the help of the enzyme called oxidase. When the bacteria grow in anaerobic environment, what happens? The terminal electron acceptor is not oxygen. It is reduced by an enzyme called reductase. In mitochondria, the terminal membrane complex, that is complex 4, it is cytochrome oxidase. So, in eukaryotes, it is this terminal oxidase and reductase are complex 4. In the case of the aerobic bacteria, they use a number of different terminal oxidases. For example, E. coli, which is a facultative anaerobe, it does not have a cytochrome oxidase or a BC1 complex. Under aerobic condition, it uses two different terminal quinol oxidase, both proton pumps, to reduce oxygen to water. The bacterial complex 4 can be split into classes according to the molecules act as terminal electron acceptors. So, the complex 4 of the electron transport chain in the bacteria, it can be split into two classes according to the molecules act as a terminal electron acceptor. That is, first one is class 1 oxidase, which are cytochrome oxidase and use oxygen as terminal electron acceptor. Class 2, then second one is class 2 oxidase are quinol oxidases and they can use a variety of terminal electron acceptors. Both of this class may be subdivided into categories based on what redox active components they contain. Example, heme AA3 class 1 terminal oxidase are much more efficient than class 2 terminal oxidase. So, these are the classes coming under the complex 4 of the bacteria electron transport chain. Next is about anaerobic bacteria which do not use oxygen as a terminal electron acceptor, have terminal reductases individualized to their terminal acceptor. So, they have terminal reductase. For example, E. coli can use fumarate reductase, nitrate reductase, nitrite reductase, DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxide reductase or trimethylamine N oxide reductase, depending upon the availability of these acceptors in the environment. Most terminal oxidases and reductases are inducible. They are synthesized by the organism as needed in response to specific environmental conditions. The next is about electron acceptors. Just as there are a number of different electron donors, that is organic matter, inorganic matter in organotrophs, inorganic matter in lithotrophs, etc. These are the different electron donors. There are a number of different electron acceptors, both organic as well as inorganic. In aerobic bacteria and facultative anaerobes, if the oxygen is available, it is invariably used as terminal electron acceptor because it generates greatest Gibbs free energy change and produce the most energy.